Hello, Emily Grace.
Hello? Hi.
I'll get us started here. I'll drive the ship since
You
I'm
sure
in
are
mission
chipper.
control.
E.g., you're chipper.
Huh? Wait, hold on. I can't see you guys. I am Chipper.
All right. Welcome, Braves country, to the Pennant Grace, as the Atlanta Braves are suddenly the greatest team in the history of baseball. It's amazing what's happened since Monday. Emily Grace McWhorter joining us from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and El Presidente, the Duke of Denham, Reed Taylor, joining us here in Mission Control. We've got a lot to talk about. It's a big day. It's a big day for all of us here with the big kickoff tonight. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I wanted to look my best for that kickoff. I put on, you see it, the Roback polo, roback.com. Proud sponsor of the Pennant Grace. Go to roback.com. Read. Before you check out, don't just check out. Before you check out, enter code PG20 at checkout. It's going to save you 20%.
It is so easy, and you get that merch right there.
We made it easy for you. We're giving you the best clothes at the best price. E.g., that's a pretty good deal, right?
It is. And if you need gifting, if you just need to spoil yourself as summer comes to an end and get some of those quarter zips for football season, Roback has it all. We love their support. Use code PG20 at checkout. And guys, I'm excited to talk about the Braves.
Yeah, so the greatest, most people are saying the greatest team in the history of baseball at this point, winning 3 out of 4 with the chance for the sweep this afternoon in San Francisco. And a very interesting series. Obviously a very good series for Atlanta, having won the 3 games, but just a really interesting, all 3 games, very different and unique. Braves stand at 64-56 as of the show. Now, that game 4 coming just later this afternoon. They're 6 games back on Philadelphia. They're 2 games up on the Mets. So firmly in the wild card as we go today. Let's start in game 1. Partner, we talked about this one last night. Just no other way to describe it other than just an absolute classic duel between Chris Sale and Blake Snell.
Yeah, we said that it was to be expected that it would go into extras. I was not surprised at that at all. I'm just happy the Braves were able to outlast a pitcher's duel of that caliber. Chris Sale looked incredible. And that was, to me, a really good sign. And I've said it before on the show. I want to clip all the times I've done so and put it out. The Braves do not struggle against good teams like they do against worse off teams.
Right.
So I had confidence going into this series and I did against the Rockies. And we're seeing that now. 3 games in a row they've taken from the Giants, and they are not a bad spot at all. Then they'll go to Anaheim to play the Angels this coming weekend, and it's setting up to be a really successful road trip.
So Chris Sale, Reed, I predicted Chris Sale was going to have a good year. I thought he was going to be very good. I thought he was going to be a front-end starter. He has exceeded my expectations. Has he exceeded yours?
Yes, especially after Dunaway talked him up all preseason.
Survived so far the landmine, which is huge.
He has, and that game that first night was incredible because Blake Snell, ever since he's gotten off the DL for the second time or whatever, the guy's unhittable. He had no hitter the game before. I think the game before that he had 15 Ks in 6 innings or something. I mean, it's crazy. But for the Braves to win those 2 games, I mean, the last 3, has been huge. And then if you can finish it off today and then you get to go to the Angels, that is a big-time road trip.
Yeah, so San Francisco coming into this series with a lot to play for as well. And so Sale's line in that 7 innings, 0 earned runs, 12 strikeouts, 0 walks. To go 7 innings and not deliver 1 walk. Raisel Iglesias, too, want to make sure to mention that because he came in, obviously, game goes to extras. Braves win it 1-0 in the 10th. Iglesias pitched 2 innings with 0 earned runs and 4 strikeouts. He was fantastic. And then, E.g., you were just talking about Travis d'Arnaud and how well he does in these timely hits. He gets the game winner there in the 10th.
Yeah, we mentioned him before, just how clutch he can be, and we saw that in this series. I think that you have such depth there with Sean Murphy and d'Arnaud, and I think the strength, though, is late innings. You can count on him. Doesn't matter what the score is, and that's something the Braves have been lacking. So from game 1 and then game 2, again, goes into extras. Braves were able to hold it off, fight it off. It was just an encouraging first 2 games. And then yesterday, I thought it was 16-3. That might be the Braves bias in me. It was 13-2.
Well,
or was it 16?
13-2, yes. Yes.
Time out. There's one thing I want to know from both of y'all right now.
Okay.
These 3 games, tell me what inning y'all went to bed in each game. Come on now.
Third inning, end of the third for me in game 1 and 2, and middle of the 4th last night. Yeah.
For Alabama.
EG and Mikey and I had a late dinner last night, and that kind of pushed my bedtime back a little bit, so I made it through the 4th last night.
So are y'all ready for them to be off the West Coast?
I am very ready.
Yes.
I do not like that schedule.
The first game, I was awake for the ESPN alert that we won. Second game, I was awake actually because I saw the bottom of the 9th, but I fell asleep. And then last night, I was not awake for that one.
So, for me, if I'm a Braves fan, last night makes me feel so much better when you got Michael Harris back in the lineup.
Yeah.
Because if I was a Braves fan and I had to see Lariano and Eli White playing significant time back there, it would drive me crazy.
Right. Yeah. Huge return there in game 3 for Money Mike. This is a video platform, in case you guys aren't aware. Baby Ush has got to look his best. I got to get my beauty rest. I ain't coming in here all puffy. So, to your point about d'Arnaud and Murphy, we are really seeing that tandem playing really well as we are kind of coming into the final stretch of the season. So very good to see there. Game 2 was a 4-3 win. Now, we really needed a nice bounce back from Charlie Murphy. Got a great start. Charlie Murphy, I did it again. Charlie Morton. Charlie Murphy! Not Charlie Murphy. Charlie Morton.
That sleep didn't really help that much.
Yeah,
right there.
no, you can't fix stupid. So Charlie Morton hits a milestone there in the win. He goes 6 innings with 6 hits, but only 2 earned runs and had 8 strikeouts. I thought that he looked really sharp in that game.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that he needed to bounce back. But again, I'm just encouraged by the Braves' ability to win these games late. It has taken so long to feel that way. And then, of course, last night, Michael Harris comes up, grand slam.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
That is exactly what they did. And now, Braves Country, I know you guys are hesitant because it's another really high. How low can we get again? Cautiously optimistic. It feels really good right now. If the Braves get the sweep today, I mean, it's on ESPN Plus, so that's the encouragement too. If you haven't adjusted to the new contract with Valley and Xfinity and Comcast, all that. So I'm hoping for the 4-game sweep. I want it against the Marlins, but I will absolutely take it against the Giants.
Robert Alkeen has the song Feeling Good Again, and that's how I am right now. It's feeling good again. It's nice to feel good for a change. So also in that game, Travis d'Arnaud, we just talked about, and Loriano go 2 for 5. Both had a home run. Both scored a run. Loriano had an RBI, d'Arnaud with 2 RBIs, but again, another 10th inning win. And then we get to last night where the offense just completely busted open. Crazy start to that game. So you're up 5-0 in the first with 1 base hit. So I think, now you guys catch me up if I'm wrong here. I think it was hit batsman, walk, and then the grand slam.
I think you're right.
I know it was back-to-back hit batsman to start. I think it's right. Hit batsman, walk, grand slam. And so Money Mike, first game, first at bat back in a month, and that was impressive. And what a great call, Brandon Gaulden on the Bally's broadcast there. A great call, just a great moment, and that really set the tone. So now Grant Holmes gets to come into the game with a 5-0 lead. His first pitch is a solo shot, and it's just like, this game's drunk. Go home, game 3, you're drunk. that's really all Grant Holmes. You know, he ended up giving up one more run, so he has 2 earned runs. But he goes 7 innings, gets his first win. You know, and he had pitched well, but had not gotten the win. But goes 7 innings, his first win. 8 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 strikeouts. He's done a really good job in filling in that slot on an injury-depleted Braves starting rotation.
I agree. But, guys, it is time for me to depart. Alabama is calling my name. It's time to go do some walk and talks.
Okay. Tell Kalen DeBoer we said hello and ask him a Braves question if you can.
Good luck, EG.
Also, Washington guy about the Braves.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right, Ray, let's want to finish up on Game 3 here, the offense. So Matt Olson, we mentioned obviously with Michael Harris II with the grand slam, but Matt Olson was 2 for 4. He had a home run, a walk, an RBI, and he scored 3 runs. And then both Austin Riley and Sean Murphy home runs for both of them. Just an absolutely dominating performance there.
I mean, everybody contributed, which is huge. And because, the offense has been struggling a little bit. And to see everybody, I mean, even, Soler started it off, got on base first time. Then even when you brought in Kelnick a little bit later, he got a hit, 2 ribbies. So everybody's contributing. I really want to see this team at full strength. And when I say full strength, is everybody that has a chance to come back this season,
right?
Getting them back and seeing what this team can do, because it's all about getting hot.
That list, by the way, TBD, we'll get into that here in a second as far as who we might see back and may not. The ball's landing there in McCovey Cove. San Francisco always been I'm trying to think when that ballpark was built. Would that have been late 90s?
Yeah, I was going to say probably around 99.
99, 2000,
yeah,
that's what I was
like
thinking.
That.
High, very high on my list of ballparks I've always wanted to go to. Just looks like a tremendous game day experience. It sure looks beautiful on TV. That's a park that plays really well on television.
It does, but I mean, to me, like games like last night, and then of course the later we get into the season, it almost looks like as a fan it would not be that much fun because of the breeze that's coming off the ocean. It's just everybody's in sweatshirts and jackets already.
I would love to be in a sweatshirt or a jacket.
Yeah,
I mean, I almost showed up to do the show today in no shirt. So
that's why EG went to Tuscaloosa.
That's it. It's so hot and humid here. But you're right. Yeah, that you would have to account for the weather for sure. But definitely a cool-looking place. Game 4 starts about 2:45 Central Time today. Max Fried taking the mound for the Bravos against Logan Webb.
Guess who's leading off? Michael Harris.
Michael Harris back in the leadoff spot. There you go. So I take it by looking at your magic screen there, we do have a lineup. If you don't mind reading that off for us.
Harris, Riley, Ozuna, Olson, Denard, Arcia, Kelnick, Lariano, and Merrifield.
Okay. There you go.
If y'all can just get Lariano off y'all's starting lineup, I think you will be a lot better.
So he's been hitting the ball well, but you've seen not just some defensive mishaps, but just glaring defensive mishaps.
Yeah.
Would you put it that way? I mean, there's been a couple of those that just like, what are we watching here?
I'll tell you this, though. I don't know if you've seen the highlight when he was with the Athletics and he caught a ball up against the wall and fired it to first. I mean, it was one of the best throws I've ever seen in baseball. The guy's got an absolute cannon, but he's definitely cost you all a little bit in the field, though.
And that's been surprising because he was more known for defense coming into Atlanta. Everybody would say, oh, that's a good, solid center fielder, and he's had a couple of plays where it looks like he's never played in the position before.
Yeah, that play in right field versus the Mets a couple weeks back was rough.
So to Reed's earlier point about seeing the Braves at as full a strength as they can be as we head into the final stretch, what will that look like? So Jorge Soler, hamstring tightness, he's getting an MRI done in San Francisco. We're going to find out. Brian Snitker didn't sound overly concerned, but I don't know. I mean, I'm just not this team and injuries. I just don't know what to say anymore.
Well, I think it's got to get healthy, but this playoffs, I mean, like the standings right now, as many teams involved, I mean, these playoffs could be really, really good.
Yeah, I haven't, I really won't start until the end of the regular season to really pay more attention to the American League. But I think it's going to really come down to the wire in the National League, and you're going to have a lot of teams in contention for those 3 wild card spots.
Yeah, I mean, there's a possibility you could have 4 NL West teams in the playoffs.
Absolutely. Well, you and I talked about that on Monday, and it's a very real possibility. A.J. Minter having hip surgery, they saying season in doubt. I am not expecting A.J. Minter back. This is a reoccurrence. He's dealt with that issue already this season. I would be surprised to see A.J. Minter in a Braves uniform this season. That is a big loss. The bullpen does have depth, but you hate to lose a guy like A.J. Minter. And then Eli White, we mentioned before. When you think of Adam Duvall and what he's doing, that was, at first you look at it, it's a head scratcher. Of course, it just comes down to the fact is they had those options on Eli, not on anyone else, and so that was the move that they're going to make to keep the roster strength. Braves do kick off a series with the supposed Los Angeles Angels. California Angels to me,
Yeah,
Reed.
I'm not used to the Los Angeles. At least
California Angels, and I love the old Angels look, logo, and everything from the 80s when we were kids, the Reggie Jackson Angels. Anaheim, I was fine calling them Anaheim Angels. I don't like calling them the LA Angels. The Dodgers are LA's team.
No, I'd have to agree with you. It's and that team, as much money that they spent over the last few years, I mean, they're snake bitten with injuries too, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to be able to say that they have at one point had possibly the 2 best players of their generation and nothing to show for it.
Nothing
right?
at all. And then think about, remember how good Anthony Rendon was when he was with the Nationals?
Incredible.
I saw last night, I think he's got 150 at-bats this year and no homers.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
And they're paying him probably $30 million.
A ton, yeah. That's crazy. Don't have pitching matchups yet on that. The Angels do, but we don't have Braves pitchers listed. Do have those game times, 8:38 Central on games 1 and 2, and then Sunday at 3:07. Then you get a day off on the 19th, that Monday, and then you're at home. The series with the Phillies, and we'll see between what happens today and in the Angels series and what Philadelphia does, who've been playing 500 ball in the last 10 games, but they've certainly not been as dominant as they have been. So we're going to see how big that series is at that time. The Phillies have a 6-game lead right now, and so we'll see. Reed, want to get to your LA Dodgers. We just were discussing the West. Buster Olney was on the next round today. And Buster said you can make a strong case that the 2 teams playing the best baseball in Major League Baseball right now are the San Diego Padres and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Those are your division foes.
Yeah, the D-backs, their offense has been unbelievable. I mean, I think they're averaging something like 7 runs a game for the last couple of weeks. And then the Padres, their pitching is really taken off. And for whatever reason, the last 2 years, the Dodgers have struggled big time with the D-backs and the Padres. So I don't feel as confident as I did before. Obviously, the Dodgers finishing out and winning this division doesn't really matter. It's going to be whoever's hot going to the playoffs. Last year, the D-backs flew through the playoffs, and I think you got a chance to see that again. I mean, that team is coming around. Their offense is really, really good. They got some depth. And the pitching staff, if it continues to get better, they still have some young guys in that rotation. They're going to be tough to play.
Arizona has built a really good roster, and we saw that last year. San Diego, that ownership, if nothing else, you can't say they're not completely committed to winning and have done everything possible to bring a championship to San Diego. They've been all in. They're one of the highest teams in payroll, and for whatever reason, those teams – chemistry, injuries, just guys not playing well. It hasn't materialized the way they've wanted to. They're playing really good baseball right now, but the Dodgers still have the best record in the National League.
I know, but I mean, it just feels like over the last couple of months they're playing about 500 baseball.
Right.
And I get it. The injuries have been ridiculous. I've never seen a starting rotation that is on the DL like they have. Obviously, Walker Buehler came back last night. He struggled. I think in the first 2 innings, threw 55 pitches. We don't know what you're going to get out of Kershaw.
Yeah.
Yamamoto is supposed to be working his way back. You don't know what you're going to get out of him. And then they brought up, a kid, River Ryan, who's like their number 3 or 4 prospect. First two games gave up like 2 runs and like 12 innings. Third game goes out, has got a shutout going in the 5th, and throws a pitch, starts grimacing, looking at his arm, and he comes back, and now he's saying Tommy John surgery, out for the year.
Goodness.
And out for part of next year as well. So, I mean, they have, I think, 5 or 6 starting pitchers on the DL that would be pitching for most teams right now.
Absolutely. So, big brother Lance Taylor mentioned Walker Buehler to Buster today. And the real possibility, and that's sad to think about, but the real possibility that we may never see the Walker Buehler that we thought he was going to be, that we saw before.
Yeah, I mean, he had a Tommy John surgery when he came out of Vanderbilt. The Dodgers still drafted him in the first round and wanted to help develop him and all that. And then, having his second Tommy John surgery, he is just not the same pitcher anymore.
Yeah, see that all too often. Is there a... We talked about San Diego and Arizona. It's just hard right now to kind of think about playoff scenarios and things like that. What's your take on Milwaukee? Milwaukee's a team that's always in the playoffs, doesn't have a lot to show for it, but they've had a sustained period of success. They have a feeling to me for some reason, as even though they've led their division all year, as a somehow under-the-radar team that could be really dangerous in the postseason.
It almost feels like this is every year.
That's true.
What I mean? And I think when Craig Counsell left and went to the Cubs, I think people kind of wrote him off a little bit. They traded their best pitcher to the Orioles,
right?
Corbin Burns. But they plug people in, and they are in every game, and they find ways to win.
It seemed like a pretty complete team.
I mean, think about Christian Yelich. He's out too.
Yeah.
I mean, arguably their best hitter's out. They traded their best pitcher. But they got young talent, I will say that. Their farm system did a really good job of developing those guys. And I don't see them going far in the playoffs, but they are going to be pesky. They're going to scratch and claw with any team they play.
In that Central, St. Louis is still a playoff contender. If I had to guess, I think the Central gets only Milwaukee in the playoffs.
That's the way it looks.
And I just tend to think more, it's going to be pretty West heavy. I don't think even the Braves and Mets go. I think it's going to be one of the two because of the strength of the West. That's just the way it looks to me.
But, and when you move over to the AL, look at the freaking Guardians.
It's unbelievable. And to me, the AL Central traditionally, to me, is the weakest division in all of baseball.
Yep.
And that is not the case this year.
No.
It is outstanding.
You've got the Guardians, the Twins, and the Royals. And, if it wasn't for Aaron Judge, Bobby Witt Jr. is a slam dunk MVP for the Royals.
Absolutely.
And he has completely changed that team around. And then the Twins, they find ways to win. It kind of reminds me of the Brewers.
Yeah, very similar feel.
And then you get the Guardians, and I know Buster Olney today, he made the mention about, really, if you want to say they have one star player, is Jose Ramirez. But that lineup is pretty solid. They work counts. They steal bases. They got a couple of young guys they've brought up that can hit. Pitching staff's really good. And then for a first-year manager, the guy was just playing 2 years ago.
Yeah.
First-year manager, Steve Voigt's done an unbelievable job.
Yeah, really happy, former Atlanta Brave, happy to see that happening with him. Buster mentioned you see tremendous bullpen play from Cleveland. Yeah, feels a little, same division, feels a little like those Kansas City teams that went to consecutive World Series.
Yep.
That was a small ball team for sure. That was the epitome of a small ball team where you had excellent pitching, excellent defense, and ABC baseball, and they were able to, win a championship out of that. So a lot. It's exciting. It's the middle of August. There's a lot of things going on in baseball to be excited about. There's a lot of things going on at Disrupt Media as well. There's a new table in the lobby. There's just a flutter of activity going on, and that's all going to come to head tonight. Reed, we're going to be at Walk-Ons, the Hoover location there at Stadium Trace. Starts at 5, and it ends when you decide it ends, right?
Yeah, it's usually when they start hitting the lights on us to give us a little warning to get out. But no, it's always a great time. We get to see a lot of people, have a lot of fun. It's just, laid back, hang out with the guys, first 100 people that get there, we got T-shirts that are made for the anniversary, and we got some other people that have started with us and doing some work with us on. The Alabama fans will like
Cover
to see
Crimson
it.
in the barn. We've got the koozies.
They'll all be there too.
That looks great.
So we're excited. It's going to be a fun night.
Yeah, it has a feeling, if you haven't been before, definitely what Reed said, loose and casual, has a family reunion type feeling to it. It's just it's always one of the highlights of the year. It's just one of the most fun things, something everyone here enjoys so much. So hope to see you out tonight. We'll all be there from the Pennant Grace. So hope to see you at 5 o'clock. Get there whenever you can. We'll be there for quite a bit. That's probably going to definitely take me past my bedtime tonight.
You're in trouble tonight.
Yeah, I'm in trouble. So I might be dragging tomorrow. We'll be there in Roback tonight. As always, when I'm trying to dress to impress, roback.com, code PG20 that saves you 20% on your order. Can't thank them enough for their support. Braves and Giants. Braves go for the sweep this afternoon. We'll be back here with you on Monday at 12:15. We'll be able to recap that game, the entire Angels series, and then look ahead with that day off on Monday. Look ahead to the big series with the Phillies. In the meantime, thank you for joining us, Braves Country, and we'll see you next time.